Hello and welcome to the show that is all about the restoration of model trains. These models have all been mistreated, worn out, or else just left to rot. My job is to make them look presentable and also to get them working so that these forgotten model trains can be enjoyed once again. But there is a catch. Every repair job has a time limit, and this is decided by the all-knowing time-o-matic machine. If the time runs out before the repairs are complete, then the engines will be left to the mercy of the evil scrap man. Welcome back to Salvage or Scrap. Well, we are back for another new episode, so let's take a look at this season's remaining tragic trains. Lame locomotives and defective diesels. All of these engines are in a serious state of disrepair. Today's engine is a 2008 Hornby Stanard Class 4 steam locomotive that cost me just £36. It's also in a worse state than any other loco in this season, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. So the first thing to say is clearly the body is not fitted properly on this loco. So I'm wondering, is there a problem with the chassis? Has it just been fitted badly? What's going on there? The loco's also missing its chimney. Much of the detailing is askew. The front buffers are gone completely. There are no couplings present of any kind. And cherry on the top, there's this bag of loose bits that all need refitting. And to top it all off, of course, the model is very dirty. In fact, it's filthy. So cosmetically, this model is in a very bad state, to the point where I'm not sure that this thing is going to look perfect when I'm finished with it, but the idea is to, at the very least, make it look presentable. What about mechanically? Does the model work? Is there any sign of life? Let's initiate an initial power test. Okay, that is full power and there is some noise. I can hear some noise coming from this loco, so I'm going to cut it off because I don't want to burn the motor out. But clearly there is electricity getting into the loco, but for some reason it's not able to turn its wheels, at least not at the moment. So this time all I managed to get was some buzzing. I didn't even get the wheels to twitch. So that means there's a lot of cosmetic and mechanical work to do this time. It's a lot of work, but let's ask the time-o-matic how long I've got for this challenge. Time-o-matic, if you will. Okay, 45 minutes. So 45 minutes does seem quite a long time comparatively, but of course there's a lot of work to do in that time. So my first job is going to be to get the 3D printer on, start making that chimney and the buffers. While those are being made, I'm going to investigate the body. Is there a problem with it? Why is it not fitting properly? Then I'm going to have to dedicate some time to the mechanism, try and find out what's wrong with that. And then I'm going to have to spend some time gluing all of the details back together, and hopefully all of that can be done within 45 minutes. I tell you, I am not confident at all about this one, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try. Let's see how it goes. Remember, the rules are that I'm not allowed to shop online for any replacement parts. I can use parts that I already have in my own stores, or I can 3D print brand new ones. But anything made this way must be printed within the time limit. I think everything is ready. The loco is here. I've got the bag of bits. I do think this is going to be one of the most difficult repairs I've ever faced. Time-o-matic, if you would start my timer now. Once again, this project requires several new parts, including a chimney, so I am starting the 3D printer early to make sure they're ready in time. And for the first time ever, I'm going to be able to dismantle this Loco and get some idea of what is wrong. Now, one of my fears is that this might have a cracked gear of some description. If that's the case, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this, so we'll see. But let's get the body off first and see what's happened. The previous owner here has had some fun and games with this Loco, that is for sure. I think, need to remove the crank pin. Yeah, so this Loco's got a speedo assembly on one of its wheels, which will have to be removed before I can remove the body. And of course, I've got to get this back in, which isn't too bad, but it can be very fiddly if you're rushing.
For the first time ever, the insides of this model are revealed, and right now there's nothing obviously wrong.
So that is going to be a problem for another moment. I think for now I'm going to just remove this handrail from the cab, yeah, and I'm going to take this downstairs and give this a scrub.
My tried and tested toothbrush method is nothing short of painful this time. This is such a detailed body with so many small parts, there's every chance the clumsy toothbrush could completely ruin it, so I've got to work much more carefully than usual and just try to remove as much dirt as I can as quickly as possible. Amazingly, I managed to fish one of the cab glazing pieces out of the bathwater. This was incredibly lucky. I'll try to refit this later on.
Can't do too much dabbing with this. Not that I'd ever recommend dabbing. So this body is still really, really damp, actually. I just couldn't dry it thoroughly, annoyingly. So I'll put it here on this stool and we'll get some heat on it. Anyway, 3D printer seems to be doing a good job. We've got around 40 minutes left.
Time then to investigate the chassis to try and find out why it doesn't work.
I actually haven't ever dismantled one of these before, so let's have a go now for the first ever time. Ah, there's the problem. We do have a split driving gear there. That is totally wrecked. So that is going to be why this isn't working. So change of plan, have I got a replacement gear? I don't think I do.
But by some miracle, I've managed to find exactly the part I need, and it's literally the last one I have. I just have to hope that it will fit.
Alright, no it doesn't. Oh, it's supposed to go that way. No, it still doesn't. So I've got to find a way to get this gear off.
Well, the only gear I have does not fit. The shaft is a little bit too long, which might mean game over for this engine, but there is one thing I can try. I'm attempting to mount the new gear onto the old shaft, and if everything goes to plan, it should then fit.
Alright, that looks great. Okay, so I think we've got a new gear in there that is in the correct position, I think.
It's incredibly lucky, but it seems as though the gear problem has been solved.
Does the motor actually work? Let's just check. Alright, the motor is not dead. That's good news. So if I just lightly lubricate the motor, and the gears of course, I can put that all to bed, and fingers crossed, that is a fix.
There's yet another obstacle in the way of this restoration. The sticky tar-like substance used to hold the wires in place is getting all over my hands. And if I get it inside the mechanism, it could stop the Loco from working properly, so I've got to spend even more precious time trying to clean it off.
Right, I'm getting rid of this black gunk now because it's sticking to my fingers every time I'm touching the Loco, and that is no good. Oh, this black gunk is just it's just all over the place. I can't do anything. Just trying to keep it away from the mechanism. Let's get this reassembled. I still don't know if there are any other problems with the gears. You see, I think that's going to be a big question. Is it just the one failed gear? Is there still going to be another one somewhere hidden inside the model? That's possible. That is possible, annoyingly. So let's open up the base keeper and take a look under there. This is my opportunity to lubricate everything and also clean the axles and the pickups. If I can't get good access to those, then that's going to be an issue.
Fortunately, access to the bearings and the pickups is great, which will save a lot of time.
I can give these a thorough cleaning, get some of the debris out of there. There is quite a bit of debris in this one. Now there was some buzzing when I tested this Loco in the workshop, which suggests that power is getting to the model okay, but I don't know how reliable that is, so spending a little time like this on the pickups is a good idea, I think. Get rid of some of this really sticky lubricant, which is far too viscous, to actually do a good job of lubricating. It's not good at all. Let's oil these axles. Okay, that's good, and let's get the base keeper plate back in place. Now, until I've dealt with the tender, I will not be able to test this because I believe I will need to connect the tender up before the motor will be fully connected.
I've noticed that some of the screws are missing from the base of the Loco, and the base here is very important as it holds the wheels in place, so I'm going to try and find some replacement screws.
Let's have a look. Let's see if we can get some smaller screws to go in, hold the rest of this base keeper plate on. These are self-tapping screws, but shouldn't matter too much. No, we need a thicker one than that. The problem is, if the base keeper plate is not fitted correctly, then the axles can move around, and that's not good. Okay, very nice. So I think that is more or less all we need to do to the Loco. So I think we need to have a look at the tender and clean that up. I've got around 10 more minutes on technical work.
The tender should be a very simple job. All it does is roll along and it picks up some electricity to supplement the locomotive. So a quick wheel clean should be all this tender needs.
Okay, that's the 3D printer finished, so I'll be able to go and get my buffers and also the new chimney off there. I don't know yet how good the fit of that chimney is going to be. Obviously, it's not easy to make something like that a good fit, so I don't think it's going to look great, but as long as it does sort of fit, at least the Loco will then have a chimney. I notice it's missing a coupling, so let me see if I can find one. Coupling, coupling, coupling. Yep, there we go. I haven't produced this one myself. I don't know if that's cheating. No, I don't think. Oh, in fact, yeah, this is one that I've 3D printed. So, cool. All right, so it's got a coupling.
Now the 3D printed parts are finished and in good time too, so I'm able to collect them and start reassembling the Loco's body.
How is the body then? So the body does look as though it's pretty much dry. So I've done 4 buffers, but I only need 2, so I'll only bring 2 for now. And let's have a look at trying to refit some of these parts. So I think the first thing I will do is try and put this annoying cab handrail back in position. So that's the handrail. And then I will just use a needle and some super glue. So a little dab here. Problem is, I just don't have time, so it's gonna be messy, unfortunately. There could be glue marks visible, Hornby style. It will certainly look like a Hornby Loco again, won't it? Let's now take a look at some of these other parts which have come off. There are these back parts of the cab which I think need to be refitted. Probably could have done that before I put the handrails on. That's annoying.
Having worked out where these pieces go, it's time to take the plunge and glue them into position.
So I think that goes there. And this one must go on the other side, although it is broken. Yeah, it's not in good shape, that one. Let's try and put that in. So that should be those parts of the cab reassembled.
Now to try reattaching that window glazing piece that I fished out of the bathwater. It's very, very fiddly and it's supposed to fit inside the tiny cab. Incredibly difficult to do this under pressure.
Just do this with my screwdriver. It's fallen straight out. This is not going to be easy. Okay, well, it's not a particularly straight fit, I don't think, but I've managed to get it in there somewhat. So I think I'll have to cut my losses with that and leave that there.
Unfortunately, some of the parts are a little bit too badly damaged to go back on the model. I'm certain that this pipework belongs underneath the cab, but it just won't fit back into the damaged holes, so I'm having to just abandon it, unfortunately.
Nah, I don't think that's going to stay, folks. No, never mind. Okay.
As for my new 3D printed parts, I've decided to fit those last, as I don't want to knock them back off again when trying to refit the Loco's body.
Let's see, does the Loco chassis fit into the Loco body? This was a concern back at the start, so let's see what the deal is.
Very fortunately, the body does appear to fit the chassis without any problems, and it's a good job too, as time is now running out.
I have 18 minutes and 50 seconds, well, just less than that, left. Okay, now let's pull the tender back into the mix and see if we can connect the two together. I think now that the Loco body is on properly, it ought to go together a bit better, but let's see. Let's now put this plug back on. This is the Loco to tender electrical plug. And for the first time, I'm going to be able to put some power to this and see if it's going to work. So I'm going to hope that it does and put some lubricant onto the crank pins. Right, does it work? Have I just got a faulty pickup? Oh, I got movement. Okay, woo, it's working. Oh my word, it is working. Right.
With the model finally working, it's time to clean those driving wheels. This is very important as it'll improve the electrical connection to the track.
And I've got 16 minutes left, which doesn't seem like too long to glue on some 3D printed buffers and a 3D printed chimney. So I might even have some change on the old time limit this time, but I don't want to push my luck because I've still got that speedo to fit, and that can be a right fiddly devil of a job. Right. Crank pin out, okay, and let's put the speedo back on. Ah, it's come off the Loco, okay. Well, that might actually help this time. Right, tighten that back up, and then I've got to find a way to glue that back onto the Loco. So a touch of glue in the right place first, and then I've got to try and maneuver that part into place. Oh, that's not so bad. All right, that's in. Okay.
The big question now is whether my 3D printed parts actually fit the model. This will be the first time I've ever tested them.
So this is supposed to fit on like that, and it does actually fit, which is cool.
Clearly the new chimney isn't as convincing as the original will have been, but it is better than no chimney at all.
All right, that's just going to have to be left now. And now I've got to assemble these new buffers, and I've got about 10 minutes left to do it. So the buffer goes into the buffer housing like that, and then I've designed them so that you can just squeeze those two together without any glue, and they become one. Now these buffers, I think these are based from, I think they'll be based on the Manning Wardle tank engine, and that does mean that they're probably a bit small for the standard class 4. Again, you don't get much less realistic than having no buffers at all, so I think this is the lesser of two evils if you ask me.
The buffers have proved very fiddly to fit, as the front buffer beam is badly damaged, but with a little bit of care I have managed to get them to stay in place.
If I can put this down, there we go. The Loco is now complete, so Timer-Matic, please do stop. There is 8 minutes and 3 seconds left on this challenge, and I think I am happy to leave it there. Yeah, I think that is where I want it to be. So, will the Loco work? Will it look better now in the workshop? Let's take it over there and find out. Here is the Hornby Stanard Class 4 back in the workshop after just 36 minutes and 57 seconds of repair work. It's just about ready for that final chuffing inspection, but first here's a little reminder of how the Loco looked before the repairs. So this Loco was a terrible mess. The body wasn't fitted properly, it was completely filthy, it had many missing details, especially around the cab area, it was missing the front buffers, it was missing couplings, it was missing the chimney, and adding insult to injury, the Loco was completely dead when tested, except for just a weak buzzing. And here is the final result. I really do think this is a completely transformed locomotive. All of that horrible dirt is gone, the cab area has been completely rebuilt, a new chimney has been 3D printed and fitted, and new buffers have been added as well. The body now fits correctly, and the locomotive, at long last, now looks presentable. Cosmetically, this Loco is looking 10 times better now, but of course that is only half of the story. Does the Loco actually work now? Well, let's find out. Initiate that final test. Oh, there we go, look at that. Actually on the track, running perfectly. All this mechanism really needed was a quick once over and obviously that replacement gear. And now the Loco really and truly is running as good as new. That is an awesome result. The Loco is now working again, which means I can officially pronounce it salvaged and safe from the evil scrap man.
So let's look at the leaderboard for this season of Salvage or Scrap, and as you can see, this Loco is in second place, just below the Dock Shunter, although that was a failed repair, so I guess this is the best result we've seen this season. It also means that this model is now fit for use on a model railway. And if you'd like to own this locomotive, it is now listed on eBay, so you can visit the link in the description for your chance to own this salvaged Loco. For now though, job done. I will see you next time on Salvage or Scrap.